Hello, everyone. Welcome to Conversation Story Behind My Book with Rev Stephen Nyenty. If you're new on this channel, do also click on the subscribe button. And if you are a returning subscriber, grab your seat and enjoy this episode with us. All right. So, in this episode, we're going to be looking at the book titled Pinky and the Brain. Pinky and the Brain, the Art of Sushi. You can see it right here with me. And if you're not seeing it well, I'm sure it's going to be displayed on the screen. It is written by Rev Stephen Nyenty. I'm sure you'll be wondering who is Rev Stephen Nyenty. Rev Stephen Nyenty is the founder and president of Stephen Nyenty Ministries and Ritual Life Discipleship Ministry that is spanning over a decade of emphasizing biblical and practical discipleship and doing the work of ministry. He is a teacher and a proven prophetic minister. He has authored over 50 books and known particularly for Beauty and the Beast and Pinky and the Brain book, which are sold across the nations. He is also the host of Living It Up, a culture of progression, weekly broadcast aired on major radio stations in the country. He was ordained personally by his spiritual father, Bishop Dagwood Mills, a megachurch pastor of over 3,000 branches and astute healing evangelist of the Healing Jesus campaign, a best-selling author of over 80 books, and the founder and president of prestigious Anakazo Bible Seminary. Rev Stephen Nyenty conducts specialized schools of ministry such as School of Ministry, School of Church Administration, School of the Ministry, School of Scribe. Wonderful. That's a short summary about who Rev Stephen Nyenty is. Now, let me walk you through a summary about this book that we're going to be looking at in this episode. Based on the recent research on mental health, an estimated 20 to 30% of the Nigerian population are believed to be suffering from mental disorder. Wow. So Rev Stephen Nyenty has written this book as inspired by God to deliver true knowledge and mental disorder facing the individual nationwide. Wonderful. Okay, so let me just walk you through the table of contents of this book, of this particular book, so you are able to have an overall understanding of what impact the book plans to achieve in our lives. So the first chapter, here we have Change Your Brain and Change Your Life, the chemistry of thought, where and how thoughts are formed. We also have Ipomnisco, the impartation of thoughts. In chapter 2, we have phobias. The movie recommendation to that is Aviator 2004. We also have What is Phobias and Types of Phobias. We also have Obsession, Dark Desires. Movie recommendation to that is Aviator 2003. In chapter 3, we are going to be looking at personality disorder, paranoid personality disorder, borderline personality disorder, obsessive compulsive personality disorder, histrionic personality disorder. And the movie recommendation for these disorders is Monster 2003. Then the fourth chapter of this book, we're going to be looking at mental disorder, depression, sexual disorder, as in addiction. Then the movie recommendation for this is Addicted 2014. Then another part of this chapter is Schizophrenia. The movie recommendation for this is Acrimony 2018. Then the last chapter of this book is The Madman of Gadara, The Way Out. I call it the solution, yes, to every challenge that we're going to be focusing on in this book. Wonderful, wonderful. So I haven't gone through that. I haven't gone through the table of content. We're going to be bringing Rev Stephen on board. So we're going to be welcoming Rev Stephen. Welcome, sir. Welcome you to this episode. We'd like you to share with us the part that inspires you, or the story, the experience that inspires you to write this book.
Thank you very much, Ms. Ope. It's a pleasure being here with you and then every other person participating live with us on YouTube. I want to thank you all for being a part of this conversation story behind the books. Well, in order to answer your questions, I started the ministry full-time in 2010, and then coming out from being born again, being filled with the Holy Spirit, being a worker in church and all, it became necessary, or I began to sense the call of God on my life. And so I moved into full-time ministry in 2010. Having moved into full-time ministry to focus on the discipling of young adults, we started, and along the line, I started noticing very weird attitudes, very weird characters that sort of like got me concerned at the time got me confused at some other time. And let me give you an example. It's just like you see somebody just sitting right in front of you during the preaching, and then suddenly this person keeps stabbing him or herself with the Bible right in front of you whilst you preach. You can call it demon possession, demon oppression, demon obsession, but I wasn't exposed to that kind of understanding at the time. So it was a problem. All right. It was a serious problem. And at other times, we battle with people who just act erratic in their behavior. They just like they go, that's why the title of the book is Pinky and the Brain, the Art of Squishing. Is a street language, all right, for mental issues. They just go gaga on you, they just go crazy on you. Like, have you had the 5 minutes experience of 5 minutes madness? So that is all these things started my understanding of what is written in the book. One time I had this sister. In fact, I also dedicated the book to her, but then I found that it was not going to be healthy to do that or appropriate. She was really the focus. She was like my classroom. Put it that way. She was like my classroom. She was the teacher that was teaching me indirectly about and exposing me to mental health. All right. We had too much of problems with her in the ministry. We had too much of challenges with her in the ministry. Too much of issues that at the time I blamed her for it at the time, and I felt that no, maybe there was something wrong with her. Maybe she was deliberately, doing these things to us in the ministry. But after a while, as I get exposed to the issue of mental health, I started realizing that maybe it's not her fault. Maybe this was an issue with mental health that I didn't or nobody knew in the area or in the ministry at the time. All right. So, there will be times whereby I'll be talking to this person and suddenly she'll just get up. And before you know, she's running off. She's running away from, she has gotten up. And before you know, we are chasing her on the streets. Or we are all running after her on the street. We are all running. Hey, wait for us, and we are all running. There have been so many situations that has occurred that has really caused serious damage. And at the time, we all thought that, well, this could be our fault. But as I started getting exposed to the issue of mental health, it started occurring to me that this is not the case. Then, secondly, what also inspired this writing was I started listening to my father in the Lord, Bishop Dag Mills. And in some of his preaching, he's a medical doctor by profession. All right, but now he has been a full-time minister since, God knows, since the first day of his ministry, I believe. No, so he started teaching on mental health. I think every now and then in his preaching, he will chip in a subject or a matter for mental health. And I got curious. And every time he teaches, every now and then in his preaching, and he talks about mental health, I was seeing a similarity between the illustrations he was making and the situation I was experiencing right here with me in the ministry. You see, I know what I did. I just went and bought a book on mental health, on psychiatry. Then the final thing that really broke the camel's back for me. So the first was experiences with members of the ministry that triggered this issue or this concern. The second was the teaching of my father-in-law, Bishop Dagwood Mills. Every now and then he teaches on it, and that stirs up a similarity, a remembrance of the similarities I'm noticing. The third was I was coming from an event somewhere in Lagos around Obalindi. We're coming towards about Nakoli way now. And then as we were approaching, it was on a Friday, and then I saw this madman. It had rained earlier during the day. So I saw this madman sitting in a pothole filled with water. He was stacked naked. And guess what this guy was doing? He was having the joy of his lifetime. He was so happy like a baby, throwing the water, splashing the water on himself. And it was a busy road, all right. Vehicles were moving here and there, left, right, and center. Things were happening. And the Holy Spirit whispered to me when I saw that guy in the bus. The Holy Spirit told me that this is what Satan wants to do to every child of God. If he has the opportunity, he wants to run everybody mad. He wants to disgrace everybody. He wants to strip you naked, stacked naked in the market, and he wants to put you to shame. And this is what these three issues drove me to the book Pinky and the Brain, the Art of Squishing. So I'm open to answering of questions God bless you.
Amazing story that was shared. 3 or 4 stories in one. That was amazing. Okay, I remember walking us through the table of content of this book. So do well to make use of the comment section. That means tell me which part of this title you would love us to share your thoughts on, you would love us to discuss, or is relatable, or you even have a question to ask. Yes, we'll be here to attend to all your questions. Okay, so my question to Reverend. Okay, I like all of the stories that were shared. So you mentioned that in the course of a meeting, someone was stabbing him or herself. So what kind of like that attitude, that experience, how does it relate to mental health? And then how can you what category? Because we mentioned different things there. We mentioned it can be depression, it can be this, it can be that. So what can you attribute that to so that any audience of us who is watching can be able to, understand that okay, what I'm actually going through, this can be an issue because you never can tell who might be going through this experience.
All right, thank you. So the thing there is this. It could be a myriad of so many issues, starting from thought. All right. So in the case of this individual, I believe that thoughts started coming through this person's mind. The mind started getting affected by, as I was preaching, they were maybe, have you had this situation whereby you are probably, I've had that situation where I'm taking my beat and suddenly I remember that I had said or done something stupid. And suddenly I start saying, yeah, yeah, I start eating my head and so what is making me act that way was a thought that occurred, that came. So it could be that thoughts, that's why in the book we talked about thoughts. Where do they come from? Epomenisco, the impactation of thoughts. It could be that the thoughts the person is having at the time was not healthy, and that was propelling her, as a form of aggression to stab herself. It could also be a point of depression. You see, people who have been depressed, I know of people who have suffered depression, and what they do is that they cut themselves.
Wow, that's
They just take blade, and every time they have been depressed, they just cut themselves. They just say, okay, Ilabadon one. They cut themselves. And it could, there are too many ways. I'm not a psychiatrist, so I can't give an advice on that. But then there are so many reasons why people can act that way. And that's why, number one, education is necessary. People must be exposed to this. When we talk about mental health in the country, I don't think it is something that a lot of people are too much exposed to. And if it is, it's until you tear your clothes on the road, before they know that you are mad. So any other thing, people don't consider it as a sign that there's an emergency with one's mental wellness. Like for instance, now the issue of headache. Because mental health is just an issue with the brain. So the issue of when the head is aching, it could be that there is an issue that is stressing the brain, and that could lead to a problem. So as I said, there's a myriad of so many issues that could have caused that event to happen. Thank you.
Right. So wonderful. So to our audience, to our viewers, you just heard from Reverend. And then if you have a contrary opinion, if you want to contribute to what Reverend has said, please make use of the comment section. It's right there for you. So now I have another question here. It's basically surrounding the story shared. So nothing more. The next question I have here is, there's this striking part in Reverend's story. A sister who was running on the road. I was wondering, the only time I'd had that experience is when you're on the streets, you've gone to get something, and then everybody's like screaming that masquerade is on the road, and some people tell you remove your slipper. Like I was stuck in one. I was like, is this a village? What's going on in this area? I was like, okay, no problem. I just had to flow with everybody's idea and everything. So that's the only experience I've had when nobody's chasing me and I had to run. So now, when you say that you had happened to have an experience of a sister who just runs on the road, it's not like you chased her. It is very, very alarming. So I'd like to ask her, what would you attribute that to? For this first part, I can agree with you. You say probably the person is depressed and the person has a whole lot on their mind, so they could not contain it anymore. So there has to be maybe that expression is coming in. But for somebody who is running on the road, what do we say is wrong with the person?
Okay,
I want to hear it.
I wouldn't want to speak on behalf of the person because I wouldn't know if she will be listening or watching. But then the thing there is this. That is why it is called a mental health crisis. You see, it is not called a mental health crisis because you are acting normal. Mental health just means that it is beyond norms. what it is, what the acceptable norms within the culture, within the society. So when you say, oh, somebody ran, it was just during a leaders meeting, and then I can't remember the whole full story, but then guess what? As we approached our issue to tackle another issue the sister had come up with, we just suddenly noticed that she jumped fence or she jumped the staircase. Wow! Hey, go after her! And then it was like as though now it was like when an arm robber stole and is now jumping the fence to run. So it was like, hey, and we started chasing this sister and we chased her down to her house. It was not an easy thing, but at the end of the day, that is why the book was written, and to a large extent, it was managed. But up until she took a leave from the team, I'm not so sure we really got to see a better side of that while she was there. So you can call it so many things, but I can't speak on her behalf.
Okay, but I get it that there are different sides to mental health.
Yes.
There could be like a medical personnel who is practicing currently, like a psychiatrist side to it. But being a pastor or being his pastor, you should have like an oversight of what is going on with the person.
Yeah.
Like, I'm sure you must have taken time to interrogate this person personally, like the one who was starving himself. And now someone is speaking, like, is taken to their heels while nobody is chasing them. It's quite alarming. So I'm sure you must have engaged. So in your bid of engaging either of these two persons, what like, I know that you don't want to give a general overview because probably it might be a different side of the coin. Mm-hmm. We agree. And that's what we're telling you. Please make use of the comment section. So, but from your own analysis of things, personal interrogation with them, what would you say, like, is wrong with this person? Because there will be something wrong.
Well,
like now that you can, because we're looking at different sides today. Yeah. So now, could it be that for the first person, I agree with you that the person thought was influenced. Yeah. So impartation of thoughts. So now, but for this second person, is it phobia? Is it obsession? Is it a personality disorder? Is it mental disorder? Is it also depression? Is it sexual disorder? Is it schizophrenia?
Well, to answer the question, once again, I'll say it's a myriad of responses. Okay. For instance, now, for this person's issue that took to our heels, or the one that stabbed himself, which one is it?
The one who took to our heels.
I think that what you can say is number one, fear. Fear of, and they're about to come again with the talk. I'm about to be casted. They're about to land on my matter. And that fear just overwhelms her. And the next thing, you are taken to your heels. It could be the issue of stubbornness. Like now, one of the personality disorder we have here is obsessive compulsive personality disorder. And that's on its own a big problem. So it could be a symptom of stubbornness that's really affecting this person. And then they don't want to be told what to do. They don't want to be corrected. And they don't want to feel like they are being controlled or managed. So the next thing they do is they try all means to break that chain, and then they run away. As I have said, this can be in too many variations. So I would like to just limit it to saying that there are so many reasons why people make such choices. But then once it is, the thing I would say is that once it goes big, once it doesn't make sense anymore, once it is looking spooky or weird, once it is affecting your normal thoughts and lifestyle, thought pattern, lifestyle, then I think it's an emergency that must be considered. Thank you.
All right. Okay, so I think I agree with Reverend on this after you have shared that, because I feel that being a pastor to these individuals, you must have a personal experience or story to tell. So, and I feel that Reverend is just sharing with us his own side of the story. So if you're a psychiatrist in the house on this channel, or if you're medically inclined, you can tell us what you think about this on the comment section. And if not so, you can also tell us how this is related to you and how you would want to share your opinion. Okay, so I think I have another question here. Like I said, my questions are just around the experiences that Reverend shared with us. So the last one is about the madman on the road. I was wondering, you see different mad people. So some people say that village people. Some people say that, like now, I'm going to say that it's not only village people that make people go mad. Some people, mental health crisis can make people go mad. So now, in that analysis, like you were on the bus and the Lord was actually communicating with you, and that was one of the things that propelled you to writing this book. So now, I want let's say that a section of mad people are village people. We want to agree with the norms, but a section is as a result of health crisis. So now, the health crisis shared in this book, which of them do you think that can get to that height of running a person mad? Because the reason why I would ask this question for myself and for anyone who is watching us, because I don't know as far as depression can go, and I believe that you're more experienced to have even been able to write this down. So I want to feel I believe that you have an answer for us for that. So let's hear from Reverend.
All right. So, schizophrenia. Schizophrenia would really ruin a person's life. Now, let me say something first. In Nigeria alone, around 20, more within 20 to over 30% of the population of Nigerians are said to be suffering from mental health crisis. Now, even though it is not the norms, it is not glorified in this country, Nigeria, it is what it is. That's the first thing. Number two is the fact that we only think of mad people. Our definition of madness or mental health is when you go to the streets mad and then you are looking some way. But you see, schizophrenia starts with hallucination. So schizophrenia starts with once a person begins to believe something beyond any reasonable doubt. Like, let's say, for instance, now I am. You just say that Reverend is a white man, and everybody say no, Reverend is a black man. Can you not say no,
Oh
Reverend is a
God.
white man? You are already suffering from a mental health
Wow.
problem. It's schizophrenia, all right? And I think in the book, I hope we are able to talk about it. We'll look into that subject. So, schizophrenia is what you're saying that is happening on the road already. But aside that, there are little demons that personality disorder and so that you'll find. But the main guy that is roaming on the streets now is schizophrenia.
Wow. I did not know that. I did not think that far. If you are also amazed, please give me an amazing emoji in the comment section. Like, when you are shocked about something. That expression you give when you are amazed. Wow. Because really, that's very, 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 that's a very loud volume on that. Because, I wouldn't have thought that, probably it might not be new to you because maybe you are inclined medically or you have an idea of this. But if you don't, I'm sure that you also be as amazed as I am. Okay, so I've been able to successfully walk us through 3 questions. So, but if you're there and then there are questions on your mind and then we've not been able to answer those questions, please make use of the comment section. We'll be waiting to attend to you. Having walked us through the questions that I have here, I like us to make use of the comment section, like I said. So let's ask Reverend. So is there any other thing that you'd like to share with us? Either from a question, either from any angle?
Well, mental health is real. And unfortunately, many in the church spiritualize and demonize everything. Now, I believe that the issue of mental illness can come from Satan and does come from Satan. God doesn't inflict any form of illness on us. However, we must also understand that an appropriate in education, teaching on this matter can go a long way. The Bible says, through knowledge, people will be delivered. The just shall be delivered. So I believe that that is our job to do. So God's servant listening to me, parents listening to me, counselors listening to me, I would encourage you to not ignore the place of knowledge. Expose your people to these kinds of teaching in the light of God's word. And that's why my book is written. It's written from a very biblical and psychiatric point of view. I'm sure you would find it a blessing as you go through the book. Thank you.
All right. So if you're new to this channel, like I said earlier, use the subscribe button. And if you are returning, please share your comment with us. If you're also new, do not hesitate to share your comment with us. We would like to hear from every one of us, everyone watching this video. And also, if you want to get this book, if you're interested in making a purchase of this book, there's a link attached to the video that you're watching currently that will link you to either our website or our WhatsApp channel, the book, for your personal read. So please do well to make use of the link attached. Also, if you have not subscribed, please do well to subscribe. I mean to say, if this content, this conversation that we've been having for a while now have been very, very, very impactful, if it's something valuable to you, then I believe that it is important that you should subscribe. So please go to that subscribe button now, click on it and subscribe to the channel. Comment, share, and then we'll see you next time.
Everyone, this is Rev Stephen. I want to thank you for being a part of my YouTube channel. Thank you for subscribing. Thank you for clicking on the notification button. Thank you for sharing, and thank you for engaging our content. I'm so grateful for all you've decided to do with me as we partner together to live life online together. Now, one of the things we want to do, one of the things we have made a commitment to do for you as you become a part of our family on YouTube is to ensure that we share very enlightening, scriptural based, societal relevant subject matters, especially in ministry. For instance, now I run every Tuesday from 11:30 to 12 p.m. I upload on this channel Ministry Table Talk. If you are a minister or interested in ministry activities or ministry content, I think that this is the channel. I believe this is the channel for you. You can just subscribe, click on the notification button, and expect to hear from me every Tuesday. Or if you are such that you want to understand very basic principles of life and what the Bible has to say in different subjects and in different areas, then I believe you should get involved in conversation, story behind my books. By the way, I'm an author of over 45 published books, and I think that there are stories that you would be interested in knowing about what has prompted me, what has inspired me, how I have come to write the titles I have written. I think it will be very engaging. I think it will be very conversational, and I believe it will be very educational. I want to encourage you, please do not just be content in subscribing, do not just be content in clicking on the notification button. Please join me. Partner with me by watching our content, by making comments, by sharing them, by recommending them, but more so, invite your friends, invite your colleagues to be a part of this movement. I will see you at the top. God bless you.